I was just inside working on something for work, and I decided to come check. I had left the door well open in case anyone needed to get in, and Pippi was inside getting a nut when I came in, and she ran out. And then I was going to check the water and make sure. I can see she look. Okay, it got frozen. Even though I kicked it earlier, it got frozen, but she does that with her teeth. They'll do that with their teeth when it gets frozen on top, because it feels like -2, or at least it did this morning. It might be a little warmer now. You know, like -6. But that's the feels like. I mean, Pippi's like, yeah, feels like is all that counts when you're like out here and you're no clothes on. There's white tip 2. Unless white tip 1 moved to the backyard, but I think that's white tip 2. See, white tip 2 is male, so I'll be able to get a look and see. White tip 1 is female. They'll like hatch it away at the ice with their teeth. That would have been handy if that was white tip 1, then we could know for sure. I'll get the screwdriver and demo that process, even though it's kind of intuitive. I already broke it up once today. When it gets to be too far in the winter, this just doesn't even work anymore, and I gotta pull out the heated water bowls. Anyway, this is still working for now. Some people asked about heated water bowls in the comments, and I mentioned the reason I put it off as long as I can is when I do use the heated, this is Pippi again, the reason I do use the heated water bowls when I need to is that I need to, but when I put them out and I also have these out, they prefer this if at all possible. And I've seen them flinch before when they drink out of the heated water bowls, and I don't know if it's because the hot water going into their system when their system is so cold is like an unpleasant feeling, which I kind of imagine, or if because the heating element is within the plastic of the heated water bowl, if maybe that adds an unpleasant flavor to the water. I'm not sure. Everyone's running around over here, and I think I see white tip 2 in it. Is one of you white tip 2? Are you white tip 2 over here? Because if you are, then I know you're a male, and I know you're not white tip 1. Here, this tree is apparently a popular hangout for the boys, so whoever's living in there, she's desired. And Pippi has moved into where Sweet Eyes lived. Which I'm so happy she's in a cabin now. Now my worry is that Sparkle is living in a cabin I made that wasn't supposed to be a cabin. It was just supposed to be a hide. Ooh, that was a good one. That's Ear Guy. I'll have to do that on the replay because he caught it on the bounce. This one, and it has openings all around it, which I purposely left as a hide. I never intended anyone to live in it, but I think Sparkle is living in it. So now I'm trying to figure out how to close up those gaps. And I Googled, and if wood is freezing and then you drill into it, I had a feeling this would be a problem. They said, yeah, anything can happen. Like the wood can be brittle, and then you can get a splintering or a whatever of the wood. And I don't want to wreck her home while she's living in it. So I'm thinking I'm going to use all-weather Gorilla Tape and at least seal up the openings so she doesn't have this, -2-degree wind. This is Pippi now, but I'm talking about Sparkle. These crazy winds and the snow coming into her place, which I never intended anyone to live in, but she is. Look at Pippi's pretty little feet, what she's doing. The snow and staying warm. She's got her little feet together. She's so ladylike. She's getting more water. They really like the water when it gets cold. It's you would think that an animal would prefer a lot of water when it's warm out, but I think that there's something about the water in the cold that helps them out. This is Pippi again. So she's already had water at least 3 times, because one time when she chunked out the water before I got out here, another time when I was out here, and then just now. 3 times in the last probably 15 minutes she's drank water. So that tells me that it's an important part of their processing of staying warm. I like to observe. Some things you can Google and just find out, but I like to observe things because some things on Google are just wrong. So I've seen so many wrong things about squirrels, so I don't know what to believe. So until I observe it, I pretty much don't believe it. And oh my God, the things people think about squirrels is so crazy. I met this woman 2 days ago. I was on a walk. I think it was 2 days ago, and she, oh my God, she saw Rio come up and just hold my fingers, you know, hold my hand or whatever. And she was like, oh, don't do that. And she was like as if I were a child, first off. Like, she's like, don't do that. Like, I'm like, why would I listen to you tell me what to do? And then, like, she knows more about me than squirrels. She goes, they're dirty. Like, what does that even mean, they're dirty? Like, I've been in their nest. How many squirrel nests has she been in? See, that one was just eating snow. So, you know, it's like, how many squirrel nests have you been in, lady, that you think you know if they're dirty or not? And frankly, they're not. I'm always shocked at how amazing their nests are. They're very undirty. They're dirty. That's so crazy. And then I don't even know what she meant by that. It sounded like she was talking about some other culture that she just doesn't understand, which is exactly what it is. It's a whole culture she does not understand, living outdoors with. They're dirty. Like, because they walk in dirt in their bare feet, they're still cleaner than I am. You want to see whose mud prints are on the carpet inside? It's not theirs. Yeah, it's so crazy. So yeah, she was like all telling me like as if it's a bad thing. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? And she was like backing up, like she was freaked out and scared. And I'm like, okay, dude, clearly one of us knows all about schools and one of us knows nothing. And you're telling me what I need to do? People are so weird. I couldn't get the phone out on time. These two were eating next to each other. I've got my hot chocolate mug. Oh, that was probably a good catch. I should look at that later and see if it came out. There they are. Isn't that cute? They're not family. They're just eating next to each other. Gizmo is up on a branch right now eating, and he'll be back. All right, here comes Mr. Giz. Mr. Gizmo, ready for another nut? You gonna have a big boy nut? He's coming through some snow. You gonna have a big boy nut? Can you find it? There you go. All right, so here's Mr. Brownfeet, and I didn't get a chance to finish the sparkle story. So I read about putting the Gorilla Tape on the wood, and I read what temperature do I have to wait for. They said you really gotta wait for like 40 degrees if I want even for the extreme weather tape. If you want it to stick and to stay, you gotta wait till it's like 40 degrees. Well, luckily, we have just such a day coming. So if we can make it through this freezing ass storm, here's Sparkle right here. So Sparkle, if you can just make it through another few days in that place with the wind like this and the snow, I'll be able to add some insulation tape. And the idea came from HP Horsepower, or maybe HP Horse, or HP Power, maybe HP Power, I don't know. For some reason, I remember the name is HP Horsepower, but then when I look at it, it's something different. But thank you for the idea, and we're gonna close up some open windows. Yeah, it's gonna look a little third world, but it'll be worth it to keep her warm. Here's Mocha Latte. She made it up here today. She came a long way, so it must be easier to travel this distance than to try to dig through the snow and the cold earth to get at some nuts. I think that might be Gizmo, based on the ears. Gizzy, you want a nut? I swear he knows his name. He responds to his name. Oh, I just missed a good jump of that one coming off the deck. All right, you gonna jump off the deck into the snow? That was a good catch on the bounce. Brown Feet was just getting some water. You want some water, Brown Feet, or not? Pippi's getting water yet again. Well, she would have gotten more if I could have gotten to the video sooner, but it's crazy what the cold does to your phone. Is that Gizzy? I think that's Gizmo. Yep. That's his running pattern. Okay, here's Gizmo one more time. Let's see if he jumps out into the snow like I've seen him do before. I've seen him just go flying with all four legs out like a parachute. I don't know if he'll do it with a nut in his mouth. Really. All right, so I've decided this one here is IPOX. IPOX. Wait, are you even the one? The one with the squirrel pox on his eye will be IPOX. It's gotten a little worse, but he seems just fine. I feel like he's going to recover, so we'll just call him IPOX as kind of a memorial to what he's going to recover from, wherever he went. Of course, it's only when I turn off the camera that IPOX comes back, but there we go. There's IPOX. Get some footage. There we go. Okay, there's why he's going to be called IPOX, IPOX, but you're going to overcome this, because I knew you before you had it. You're just fine with it. You're going to overcome it. It's just going to be a blip in your rear view mirror someday. And you know what? They say that your front windshield, the reason it's bigger than your rear view mirror is what matters is what's in front of you. So this little blip of an IPOX is going to be in your rear view mirror soon, we'll hope. And all that's going to matter and all that matters right now is what's in your front windshield, all that's ahead of you. Consider that thing already in your rear view mirror.